Filmfair is the country's leading entertainment magazine. Filmfair Awards is one of India's oldest and distinguished. Filmfair Awards is one of India's oldest and most distinguished film institutions and has spanned generations of exceptional talent. From a small ceremony which featured just 5 awards, we are all aware the Filmfair Awards function has now evolved into one of India's most spectacular events. Ladies and gentlemen, this year to appreciate good entertainment. Jio is strongly aligned with the philosophy of reaching wholesome entertainment across the country and is honored to have played a transformational role in extending the reach of art and cinema to millions of Indians in just 1 year. Jio has made it possible for millions of Indians to actively participate in the content ecosystem. Thanks to the 4G connectivity. पहले फिल्म देखने के लिए सिनेमा घर जाना पड़ता था एंड तय टाइम पर मूवी देखने के लिए टीवी के सामने बैठना पड़ता था, बट नाउ थैंक्स टू जियो दर्शक जहां चाहे जब चाहे अपने पसंदीदा कंटेंट को देख सकते हैं. Jio is already working with some very talented and creative people of Indian cinema and hopes to continue weaving the magic of cinema, explore new genres and formats, and help keep cinema and the arts relevant and meaningful for Indian citizens. Jio will also continue to strengthen the reach of technology through its ecosystem of network, devices and applications and help become the force multiplier for Indian cinema. As Indians are rapidly moving towards consuming more and more content through the visual media and obviously on their mobile handsets, the affiliation between Filmfair and Jio events to Indian audiences in a variety of engaging and unique ways. I now request Mr. Deepak Lamba, Chief Executive Officer Worldwide Media, Mr. Jitesh Pillai, Editor Filmfair, and Mr. Shahrukh Khan to kindly light the lamp.
मोबाइल से लेना
नहीं हो पा रहा है. अरे
कितना इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट बोला, लाइन लैम्प की तरफ देखेंगे ना, कैमरास की तरफ तो नहीं.
With busy schedules to join us here this evening. We're delighted once again to welcome you for this announcement where we are launching the 63rd Annual Filmfair Award. Just some facts, we are hosting the awards live on the 20th of January this year from the NSA at Dome Stadium. As usual, the intent about the people who've done their bit to making Indian cinema reach new heights. Just a few facts that I wanted to tell you is that, over the last few years, I don't know if you all have noticed, but we've tried to make sure that we do our best to try and grow this Filmfair Awards franchise. So, right from moving to a new venue, looking at actually involving a live audience to be a part of the atmosphere of the awards. We've also grown the franchise in terms of it just not being a thing called the Short Film Awards, which is films under 15 minutes or less. Last year was the first time we debuted at 20 minutes, sorry. And we got about 1,400 entries. This year, I think Jitesh already is telling me we got over 2,500 odd entries, so I don't envy the jury for having to go through all of those lists, but I think it's a very, very important feature as we try and differentiate ourselves from the other award shows that are out there. Our partner is 690 million, which means that in a country of 1.2 billion people, if you are anybody who is connected to either the television or a mobile device, you would have interacted with the awards in some way or the other, and it gives us this is a moment of great pride and joy for us. I'd also like to tell you that This is another important year because we welcome colors to the Filmfair fraternity, and from this year onwards, you will see the awards being telecast on colors exclusively as a television platform. It's a fantastic television platform. They've done wonders, and we're very happy to welcome them into the Filmfair family. And last but not least, whilst we always try and put on or try our best to put on a great entertaining evening for you all, I think Filmfair and Shahrukh have come to be almost synonymous with each other. I was just looking at some stats. I think over 50 Filmfair covers, Filmfair, at least 50, the magic that Shahrukh sort of brings to the stage. And we are very delighted once again that he's very kindly consented to partner with us and once again agreed to be the host. And I can vouch for the last 2 years that I've been involved in this, that the hard work and the value add that he brings to what you'll actually see emanating out as the finished product is truly exemplary. So I couldn't be more delighted that we have Shahrukh once again consenting to be a part of this awards for us. Thank you so much, Shahrukh. That's it for me, guys.
And we are also equally happy to see you host the show again.
Wonderful sponsors, and we've done it over 3 or 4 years now. And what gives me special pleasure is the fact that we've done these shows in the Filmfair Marathi and the Filmfair Bengali has especially been amazing. I think from his first performance when Bazigar, I mean, I was a college student, I wasn't a journalist then, but I was kindly invited to the Filmfair function where he performed Kali Kali Aankhein with Kajol, and then of course as a rookie reporter he's seen me through the BST auto rickshaw. Every time we get late into the, because an interview with Shahrukh Khan meant you had to wait 8 hours, so you know, so he constantly dropped me stuff, and he was very, and he was kind and nice to me when it was not important to be kind and nice. So as a reporter, that really stayed with me, and it's been just fantastic. My most memorable moment with Shahrukh Khan is the 2007 awards, if I'm not mistaken, when Saif was unwell and we dropped the bombshell on Shahrukh one day before the show. Buddy, you have to do this on your own. So Shahrukh being Shahrukh took it in his stride, and I think for me that year was amazingly memorable, where Shahrukh paid tribute to films like Munna Bhai, MBBS, Rang De Basanti, Dawn, Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, and Krish and all of that. So it's just been fantastic. So it wouldn't be wrong to say Shahrukh is truly part of the Filmfair family. Shahrukh is family. So thank you very much for hosting Filmfair for the 20th time. And I feel especially privileged because I've been part of this beautiful journey, and I watched him win awards for my personal favorite films like Swades, Chak De, Manis Khan. So it's been really wonderful as an editor for me to see Shahrukh go from strength to strength. And finally, I know he does the TED Talks and all that, but I think the secret of his success is a huge inspiration to journalists like us. The key is reinvention. The key is to stay afloat, is to dream high, dream big, and the way he's beautifully reinvented himself, his persona as an actor, as an entrepreneur, is really amazing. So thank you very much, and thank you for being a very patient audience listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jitesh and Deepak and the whole Filmfair family for again having me on board for the Filmfair function and otherwise too. 2-3 चीज़ें हैं जो मैं फिल्मफेयर के बारे में बताऊंगा, शायद पहले भी बोल चुका हूँ, तो लेकिन फिर भी दोहराना ज़रूरी है क्योंकि जब हम बड़े हो रहे होते हैं, जैसा अभी जितेश ने बताया, मुझे 25 साल हो चुके हैं, but when I was growing up, when I was in Delhi, I remember watching bits and pieces. उस वक्त दूरदर्शन पे इतना सब नहीं दिखाया जाता, थोड़ा सा कुछ फिल्मफेयर के बारे में आया, and I didn't know if I wanted to be an actor then or not, but there was this desire कि मैं कभी ना कभी ऐसे कोई मुकाम पर पहुंचूंगा, जगह पर पहुंचूंगा जहां पर मुझे भी लोग इतना प्यार देंगे I wasn't too sure कि मैं acting करूँगा या नहीं उस वक्त मुझे याद है. But the feeling was enticing, was overwhelming when I saw it on television. And that time I think it was even black and white, not even in color. And bits and pieces used to come as if in the, like in the film division newsreel kind of a thing. और उसके बाद पहली बार जब मैं यहाँ पे आया था, so I think the old hotel center, my filmfair award हुआ करते थे, and I was new. I think my films had not released, and my friend Vivek Vaswani had somehow उस वक्त भी पास मिलना बड़े मुश्किल होते थे फिल्मफेयर में, तो कहीं से इसने निकाल के 2 पासेस लेकर आया था कोई जगह से, और हम लोग बहुत पीछे खड़े हुए थे, बहुत ज़्यादा पीछे. सेंट्रोल में जो स्विमिंग पूल था उसको कवर किया जाता था और उसके ऊपर स्टेज लगता था. हम पीछे बहुत एकदम आखिर के अंदर दिख भी रहे थे. एंड आई वाज रियली होपिंग वन डे मैं ऐसा कुछ करूँ. और ये उस ज़माने की बात है जब बहुत सारे अवार्ड फंक्शन नहीं होते थे. अब टाइम अ डजन, सब बहुत अच्छे हैं, सब बिल्कुल एक जैसे ही लगते हैं, और मेरे लिए और भी आसान हो जाता है सूट बदलना पड़ता है. बट द आइडिया वाज ऑलवेज कि मैं स्टेज पर आऊँ, इस मुकाम पर आऊँ. एंड आई थिंक फिल्म फेयर, टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया ग्रुप, ऑल द पीपल दैट टाइम, जजेस, juries, audience, and of course Jitesh and Deepak are much younger. As the years have gone by, my desire to be on filmfair stage has not lessened. जिस ईयर मुझे लगता है अवार्ड मिल रहा है उस साल मैं परफॉर्म नहीं करता, होस्ट नहीं करता. जिस ईयर लगता है नहीं मिलने वाला मैं होस्ट कर देता हूँ, क्योंकि डिज़ायर मेरी यही है कि मैं स्टेज को जरूर जाऊँ फिल्मफेयर के किसी ना किसी तरीके से. So I take a few days to negotiate with Deepak and everyone, and it's not for money, just to make myself feel important. मैं करने ही वाला होता हूँ, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं नहीं करूँगा, लेकिन एक 2 बार के हम देखेंगे, सोचेंगे, ऐसा लगना चाहिए कि स्टार भी है. Otherwise there's been no reason I should not be here. जो जितेश ने मेंशन किया, मेरा एक आइडिया ये भी था, और ये सिर्फ मैं बोल रहा हूँ, लेकिन ऑब्वियसली पूरी टीम हुआ करती थी उस वक्त. The idea was that somehow can we change the face of presentation, bring in a little more entertainment, bring in a little more comic relief perhaps, and still put the best players in the industry in different fields, technical and otherwise, which we started. And I think a lot of award functions have followed suit, and they do it really wonderfully, I'm sure, at times. And every year when I do filmfair, the desire is this कि हम वो जैसे just to mention my own film या दंगल कि चकते जैसी फिल्म बना लें जो कॉमर्स भी अट्रैक्ट कर ले टेलीविजन के ऊपर, और somehow retains the dignity of the award function also. So the endeavor is always that. This year too, 63rd Filmfare Awards. As Jitesh mentioned, I've been close to about 20, having hosted them, and I've really enjoyed myself in every act that I perform. I really look forward to doing it. This time we have a new partner in Geo, so there is obviously going to be a new foray into the digital world also. Television partner is also new, you have colors, but the essence of Filmfare, inshallah, will remain the same. जहाँ पे actors को, actresses को, technicians को, directors को, producers को, editors को, and all people who are responsible for a film. This is one of the award functions I really enjoy because it starts with technical awards, with all due respect given to the technicians to start off with. And I think that itself speaks volumes for the fact that everybody behind the scenes who makes about 200 films in Hindi, now they've gone into Punjabi also, and South also, and Bengali also, but who make films in Hindi, they all get dignified stage to let the world know they were behind the scenes, and then they go back behind in the darkness and keep on making the beautiful films that we see. So I'm extremely thankful to Filmfair, to Times of India, to Deepak for calling me 3 times, knowing fully well maybe inside he'll still do it, but karna to padega isko. Jitesh for always assuming that I'll put up a good show and I try my best. The whole team which is here behind the scenes, and I will join them later. And inshallah we'll try and put up a good show on 63rd Filmfare Award on the 20th of Jan 2018. And all the people who get the awards are deserving. I believe that. I have, like you said, 15 of them. I would genuinely like to say all the awards are given according to the caliber, according to the jury, according to if there is a public voting, done in the nicest, sanest, and the most dignified manner possible. I've been a host for so many years, I can vouch for the fact, even me, I don't get to see the envelope just before I enter. So small little bits and pieces that people talk about awards, maybe they've had incidents like that, but I can assure you on this stage, none of that happens. At least it didn't happen with me, ever. and I can say that with authority. I have won maximum of them, so I should. So thank you very much, Filmfair, for having me once again on board, and we will try to put up a really nice show. And hopefully, everybody will enjoy it when it comes out. And thank you for listening to me also with patience, taking pictures of me while I'm having it.
And now the floor is open to media for a Q&A.
पैटर्न जो है वो सेट पीस होना लाजमी, अवार्ड होंगे, प्रेजेंटर्स आएंगे, लोगों को अवार्ड मिलेगा, वो थोड़ी बहुत बातचीत करने का मौका मिलेगा. बिकॉज इट इज सो फिक्सेड लाइक दैट, वी ट्राई टू वर्क अराउंड इट कि वो चीज़ जो है कम ना पड़ जाए और बाकी चीज़ें एंटरटेन कर दी जाए. सो वी हैड सम मीटिंग्स, इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन, गणेश इज हैंडलिंग a part of the choreography. And his team is writing it, and not only them, I think all of us sit together. So अभी हमने cursory beginning कर ली है, 2 meetings हो चुकी हैं. We know where we are trying to go. A part of it might be maybe down the memory lanes, because कहीं पे ऐसा लगने लगा है कि मेरा बड़ा important 25 साल हो गए और मैं भी 20 साल से कर रहा हूँ. So I had an idea, maybe filmfair then and now, and try and make dignified fun of that. कैसी चीज़ें बदली हैं या नहीं बदली हैं, and to have a little piece of opening like that. Maybe interact with other actors, actresses, and co-hosts, and try to make it as entertaining. More than that, yeah, to make it very snappy. मैं कोशिश ज़रूर करूँगा, वायदा नहीं करता हूँ. एक ज़माना था जब मैं इवन क्रिएटिव में भी पार्टिसिपेट कर लेता था. उस वक्त टाइम सबके पास ज़्यादा था. अब थोड़ा सबके पास टाइम कम होता है, तो इतना नहीं कर सकता. बट उम्मीद यही है कि 2.5 घंटे या 3 घंटे में ख़त्म कर लें. मतलब लोग जो हैं अगले दिन में ना जाएं वहाँ पे आने के बाद, एक ही दिन में खत्म कर लें.
लाइव ऑडियंस भी होने वाली है.
आई थिंक ग्रेट एक्टर की क्वालिटी ये होती है कि मैं अभी अपनी बेटी से बात कर रहा था कि जब भी सीन करते हैं, जब भी पब्लिक से मुखातिब होते हैं, जब भी किसी के सामने आते हैं, इवन राइट नाउ, इफ यू आर नॉट नर्वस, यू आर नॉट अ ग्रेट इनफ एक्टर. If you think you know it all, means you're not trying to discover everything. I think Amit ji, whenever he presents himself on whichever platform, he's assuming and hoping and trying to present something new. And for us who've seen the great Amitabh Bachchan for years, हम सोचते थे और क्या कर सकते हैं, but उनके दिल में लगाव रहता है. And I think his humility and his nervousness on stage is actually case in point that he's the greatest actor this country's ever produced. जैसे माँ के पेट से निकला था, मेरा फिल्मफेयर अवार्ड मुझे दे दो, मुझे दे दो, मुझे दे दो. मुझे कहीं पे ऐसा ऑब्वियसली फीलिंग आ गई थी क्योंकि डेब्यू मेरा हुआ था, आई थिंक दीवाना के साथ हुआ था. एंड इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन, आई थिंक ईयर बिफोर दैट और सम टाइम आई हैड सीन सम अदर एक्टर हु हैड गॉट इट, एंड आई एम नॉट क्लियर ऑफ द नेम, सो आई एम नॉट सेइंग इट, बट अ फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन, अ कॉलीग. और मेरे दिल में बहुत ऐसी चाह थी यार कि मैं वहाँ पहुँच जाऊँ. एंड आई थिंक इट वाज अ वेरी इमोशनल मोमेंट. फैन मूवी में भी हमने यूज़ किया है, where I've always said this, my biggest attempt to be an actor, even when I failed with the films that I fail, and I've failed as often or more than I've succeeded. But मेरी कोशिश हमेशा ऐसी रहती है कि फिल्म इतनी बड़ी बने, and not just on the canvas, but by feeling emotions. मैं ऐसी फिल्म बनाऊँ कि मेरे माँ बाप जो है हेवन से वो पिक्चर को देख सकें, जन्नत से उसको देख सकें, इतनी बड़ी लगे. So when I got the award, I wanted to thank my mom, and I felt, I don't know, ये सब अपने बच्चों की बातें होती हैं, इमोशन की बातें होती हैं, but I did feel truly that night that my mother and father saw me get a Filmfare award. So for me, it's a very emotional moment.
And what's the feeling when you lose an award to another actor?
फिर दूसरे की मम्मी डैडी देख रहे होते
I'm actually from South Africa. From South Africa.
जी.
I wanted to know, do you ever think that the filmfair will be brought to an international platform such as South Africa, so your fans there will be able to see Bollywood live?
I think yes, we've had a lot of discussions over the years with people actually that should one try and take Filmfare awards overseas to South Africa and other places, because honestly I think there's a huge amount of audiences waiting all over the world, which is very kind to Hindi films and Bollywood films and Indian films, not only just Hindi films. So yeah, if it is a possibility, but I guess Deepak will be able to tell you better कि वहाँ हो सकता है नहीं, but I'm sure they have thought of it.
So, short answers, yes, we'd love to go international. To put together an award show of such magnitude, there's a lot that goes behind the scenes. So sometimes, people like Shahrukh, etc., are extremely busy on time. It's not, our attempt here is to make sure that the entire film fraternity and family gets together, and as many of them as they can. Sometimes that becomes a challenge with an international location. The Times of India group already does an international property called Toy Pound, which you're aware. But having said that, we have been thinking about and are experimenting with a format which may not be an award ceremony, but it may be something like a Filmfair Night of Champions, which is where we take the best of Filmfair, the guys who've really had a great year or a great couple of years, and get them to come and perform to lovers of Indian cinema who are not necessarily based in India. So that is something that we are definitely looking at. The commercials play a huge role in this. So if you know any great companies in South Africa who can write us a good check, we can connect after this. Thanks.
Thank you.
But we have a cricket team coming there. We will sponsor as a matter of fact, a lot like Filmfair. I think when Jio was started, I was very keen to participate in it because the company was started by youngsters, Akash and Isha. And right from its inception, I've been working with them and hoping that because of, I believe youth can bring in a lot of innovations. This technology on the internet and broadband and 4G and 5G spectrum, all this technology is the future. And I think youngsters should be at the helm of it. Not only as far as putting it together is concerned, even using is concerned. I think Jio also gives Filmfair and other shows. I think the one that you also host. A lot of things, a platform, like in South Africa. When you're running this on Indian television, on colors, maybe by the time you get to see it, might be later. But with Jio, I think simultaneously, you can see all over the world. Inshallah, we'll have a time when we can do all this even live, and I'm sure more than television, a digital partner like Jio will come more handy, and infrastructure-wise, it will be a sooner possibility than perhaps on television. So I think Jio joining up with Filmfair now is extremely good, and perhaps you should, as technocrats and technicians, get together, some of you, and try to figure out what newness can you bring to Filmfair Awards itself because of the platform of Jio. I think there's a lot of innovative things that we can do.
Shahrukh,
Get anywhere.
Sandesh.
Yeah, Sandesh. I've always liked awards. It's not to personally convince myself that I've done a good body of work this year. It's not also to profess to the world and get it like a medal that, oh, see, I got this award, so I've done good work. I don't know, I just love awards. It's a strange thing. I was an athlete when I was young. I used to run the 100-meter race, I used to play soccer, hockey, and all these sports when I participated in it. Running was the most important thing, playing was the most important thing, giving your life up for that was most important, and the practice and the training. But somewhere when you picked up the trophy, it had a special feeling. It in no which way accentuated the fact that, oh, I deserve it, I got it, and I never had to claim that world, see, I'm so good. No. It is just a strange, I think that sensibility has continued. I go for, in Dhirubhai Ambani, I go for pets races. And it's an open secret. I train for it. I want to win that race also. Of course, now it's getting more difficult because with my youngest son, the parents are 25 and I'm 50. But I will still go and kick their butt. So I want to go and get that medal. I love standing on that podium. I love the feeling of, when our country is playing and the national anthem playing, and even today when in films that happens, you feel so happy. Of course, those are national champions. We can't compare ourselves to them, but in the smallest way possible. I play Ludo on the sets of Anand Rai's film, and at the end of it all, whoever wins gets a little crown with the gold on it on the iPad nowadays. I love it so much. I really like awards, and yeah, it's been. I think I perhaps have not been creative enough, or perhaps I over-stress my own talent in my own head. But it's been a long time since I've deservingly won a Best Actor award. So yeah, it would be true. I won't lie and say they don't matter, and it's really nice and it feels very good. No, I love it. I love getting awards.
Also, would you be hosting it completely on your own, or do you have a co-host along with you?
No, like I said, we have involvement of other actors, actresses, co-host maybe. Um, I don't think it's, I think the part of it has still not been officially confirmed, so maybe I should not take the names just in case somebody leaves the show. Becomes a controversy. But yeah, we will try to, like I said, it's always important to get someone to do a bits and pieces of the hosting with you, just to add a little more entertainment. Akela nahi bolta raha to nahi nikalta. So I do bits and pieces solo, some of them I want to involve other people. So we have 2-3 ideas. So yeah, there will be some people involved in the hosting. Co-hosting or being part of that thing.
Shahrukh, Renuka here from Bombay Times.
Renuka?
Yes, from Bombay Times.
Hi Renuka.
Hi, Shahrukh. You're always a pleasure to watch on stage as a host. Actor, obviously, but host, you're fabulous. And you kind of got rose to India before it became fashionable in India. Right from your filmfair stage, the way you roasted the actors. You and Saif Ali Khan, I think it was superb. And how much of that would we be seeing this year? And as an actor, do you find it a little challenging to kind of do that on stage since all...
I come from theatre and I've worked on stage for 7-8 years. And I have a sense of humor at a personal level and a professional level. I like things to be happy. I like, even if you don't have them, try to show your nipples all the time. It's nice, people are smiling and enjoying themselves. It's a long evening. It's a stressful evening for the participants. Who's going to get the award, not going to get the award, who's going to win. There are going to be brickbats, there'll be bouquets, agreements, disagreements for the organizers. So it's nice to just keep it light. So I would. Then I realized over the years that maybe, I think it was very well explained to me by my wife, that when you started off and you did all this, you were kind of junior in terms of your status in the film industry. Just 4 or 5 years old, it looked sweet and nice that you were doing it. But as 10 years went by, now as a senior person, as a senior member of the faculty, when you say this, it can perhaps hurt sentiments. Earlier when I started off, if I joked about a young guy or a senior actor, they took it with, he's sweet. But maybe in 10, 15 years, it becomes important that a faculty member for 15 years does not in any which way seem derisive of us. It makes it sensitive. So I think because of that, a part of the sense of humor, I have to curtail. Normally when I'm going to do something which I feel is extremely funny, but could be hurtful, then I do call the people in question and ask them, request them, tell them. Sometimes I may crack a joke like this, is it alright? Because I do understand that from the outside, I may not understand my status as a senior actor for 25 years, but for a lot of youngsters and people in the film industry, while they're sitting and watching that show, they've grown up, seeing me in films, and perhaps it comes as a little bit of a hurt. So I try to curtail it now, and I think earlier years it was easier. It is a little more difficult now. So yeah, I'll still joke and try and be funny and sweet, but try and take away. Also, I've noticed that trend started being pushed too much. When we did filmfair like that, it was a very cozy gathering. Then I see in functions people become too personal. And I think I have also become gentler with age. And I realize, like, if I have a film which hasn't done well, it's not really funny if somebody's making fun of it. So I realize that. And I think I should at least curtail it. And I do try to.
Thank you so much.
Hi Shahrukh, Anam here from Anam.
Anam, हाँ. Actually, ना शुरुआत में इतनी performances नहीं होती थी उन दिनों में. I think performances, if I may say so, performance का सिलसिला भी हम लोगों के साथ ज़्यादा शुरू हुआ. 90s में हमने ज़्यादा, like he said 92 में saw the बाजीगर काली काली आँखें. I think it wasn't so performance laden. I think it wasn't so television friendly or diverted towards television. So I sincerely, मैंने एक ही देखा, फिर मैं जीतना शुरू हो गया. तो फिर हाँ, मैं वही पहले साल में नहीं मिला था, फिर मुझे मिलना शुरू हो गया. So all performances, when actors come and perform, and sometimes you have an image of an actor कि फिल्म में अलग होता है और लाइव बहुत अलग होता है. But having said that, some of the ladies I really enjoy. Madhuri Dixit, whenever she performs on stage, is wonderful. Lots of them, lots and lots of them. Even when Hrithik Roshan performs, because he's such a wonderful dancer. Shahid, because they all work hard. I think that I enjoy the performances of the live performance. When they perform, I really appreciate it. And I can tell इसमें बहुत मेहनत गई.
और सब इस साल की आपकी पसंद
मैंने यार ज़्यादा नहीं देख पाया. मैंने लिपस्टिक अंडर योर बुर्का देखी just to sound intellectual. अपनी आनंद सर की जो फिल्म थी जिसका लंबा नाम है शुभमंगल सावधान, वो देखी. दंगल इज लास्ट ईयर राइट. या वो मैंने इस साल देखी. एक था टाइगर देखिए. सॉरी हाँ टाइगर सुंदर. और एक और कौन सी इज वन ऑफ द फिल्म आई सॉ. But I'm also naming other ones I really enjoyed. ये भी देखी और ये अच्छी भी लगी. But हाँ बरेली की बर्फी was very sweet. हाँ न्यूटन को बहुत मिल रहा है ये कह रहे. न्यूटन बोला मैंने अभी कोई फिल्म साइन नहीं किया. I really want to live with this block film. Unlike the picture, थोड़ी यार tedious है like I said. I think in a couple of months I will take a call on what films I've been. I have been meeting Siddharth and Ronnie. I have met a lot of other directors also because I have to, and producers. But अभी मैंने कोई फिल्म confirm नहीं किया. Because I really want to, जैसे मैं confirm करता हूँ फिर मेरे दिमाग में कुछ ना कुछ क्या कुछ करना है इसका. मिल आता हूँ जाके मैं एक बार राइटिंग पे बैठ जाता हूँ. So I just want to be free of everything at least till Feb. And by then hopefully आनंद सर की फिल्म थोड़ी extend हो गई थी. लेकिन तब तक खत्म हो जाएगी more or less. Then I think of better than me. No, I'm being honest, really. I really host very well. And I'm not being pompous. अगर honesty का कुछ इनाम है तो कोई filmfare award नहीं कर दो ना यार. Honesty का. I really think I'm very good. मैं बहुत अच्छी hosting करता हूँ. मैं impromptu हूँ. मैं कैसे बेच रहा हूँ अपने आप. मैं impromptu हूँ. मेरे को teleprompter नहीं पढ़ना पड़ता है. लास्ट मिनट पे प्रेजेंटर्स चेंज होते हैं. मैं कुछ ना कुछ उसका कर लेता हूँ. पूरा का पूरा आइटम चेंज हो जाए. सलमान भाई बोलते हैं मैं अभी नहीं आऊँगा, 1 घंटे बाद मेरा परफॉर्मेंस है. मैं घुमा लेता हूँ. हैंडसम हूँ. डांस भी कर लेता हूँ. इंग्लिश भी बोल लेता हूँ. हिंदी भी बोल लेता हूँ. नहीं यार दूर दूर तक कोई नहीं है. मजाक प्लीज नहीं देख गया. आई एम नॉट डिमीनिंग एनीवन. आई थिंक जो सब करते हैं बहुत अच्छे हैं और दे शुड डू इट. मैं एक ही करता हूँ वुमेन फिल्म फेयर में. लेकिन मैं really बहुत अच्छा
change the teleprompter. We can't change too many things around because he's learnt up his lines from back to front, like completely learnt up his lines. So whether the teleprompter is there, it goes off, there is absolutely no worry because he knows his lines. So maximum we'll change a section of the awards, but otherwise there's absolutely no stress from his part. Oh no, we have not the teleprompter, because the teleprompter has gone off a couple of times in the past, and he looks around and then he goes, continues with his. Sorry for giving in your secrets.
कर रहा हूँ कि मैं बदल जाऊँ. मैं जल्दी भी सोने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. मैंने धूम्रपान कम कर दिया है और मैं जेन्युइनली मैंने आज मेरी ये तीसरी जगह है जहाँ पर मैं वक्त पे पहुँचा. मैं सुबह मेरा एक शूट था छोटा सा एक फ़ोटो का अन्नदाय साहब की फिल्म के लिए. तो मैं 12 बजे पहुँच गया और मैंने 12:45 तक काम भी शुरू कर दिया. आनंद सर 1:30 बजे. अरे आप पहुँच गए सर. मुझे मेरी बेटी को किसी एक कोर्स के लिए लेके जाना था 2 बजे. मैं 2:45 वहाँ पर पहुँच गया. एक और मीटिंग पे मुझे कल जाना था. मैं 3 बजे पहुँच गया. यहाँ मुझे 5 बजे पहुँचना. 2 बार जितेश ने मुझे कहा टेक योर टाइम. एंड लेट मी से दिस टू यू पीपल. जब भी मैं लेट हुआ जो ऑर्गेनाइजर्स हैं, बिकॉज मैं ना फेस करता हूँ इन चीज़ों को, तो लोग समझते हैं कि मैं लेट आता हूँ. वो बोलते हैं अभी रुक जाओ ना, अभी ना दीपक रेडी नहीं है, दीपक रेडी नहीं है. बोला आप पूछ लो. मैं ऑनेस्ट भी हो गया हूँ. तो मैं सच बता रहा हूँ. मैंने अपनी टीम को बोला मैं हर जगह वक्त पे पहुँचूंगा और इस दुनिया को दिखाऊंगा कि मैं वक्त पर आता हूँ. दुनिया जो है वक्त पर नहीं चलती. मैं ना जल्दी पहुँच जाऊँ कितनी जगहों पे तो कैसे आगे एंड फिर काम वही कहीं 3 घंटे बाद लेट होता है. मैं कितने मौके दे चुका हूँ ह्यूमैनिटी को, लेकिन अब ह्यूमैनिटी ने नहीं. नाउ दे हैव टू सफर मी. आई ऑलवेज टेल पीपल इफ आई वाज ऑर्गेनाइज्ड आई विल बी लीथल. अब मैं ऑर्गेनाइज जब हो जाऊंगा ना इतना डेंजरस हो जाएगा सबके लिए. अब आप देखो. आप मैं एक्चुअली 5 मिनट बाहर वेट किया हूँ क्योंकि जितेश अभी और इसकी सारी टीम थी, राहुल वगैरह सब रॉन्ग जगह खड़े थे, दीपक रेडी भी थे, मैं रेडी होकर मैंने पूजा बोला मैं जा रहा हूँ, मैं बैठूंगा, मैं हर जगह टाइम पे पहुँचूंगा। तुम लोग अब जो है ना डर के रहना मुझसे, ये सबको मालूम पड़ेगा, तुम लोग लेट आओगे हर जगह पे, मैं टाइम पे आऊँगा, इंटरव्यू खत्म करके चला जाऊँगा और तुम्हारे सवाल नहीं लूँगा क्योंकि तुम वहाँ पर होगे नहीं टाइम पे नहीं। मैंने प्रोफेशनली टाइम पे जाके फोटो खिंचा ली थी पोस्टर की, मैं सब कर चुका हूँ उसका। ये जो है सब टाड़ी है, ये सब गलत है और ये वक्त लगा रहे हैं। तो मैं इनके बारे में कुछ नहीं कहा, कितने लोगों को संभालूं, थक क्या हो गया, थक आ चुका हूँ मैं। सो मैं नहीं हो जाएगा यार अभी थोड़े दिन में। आई थिंक यू नो ये जो फिल्म है बड़ी यार इट्स अ लिटिल डिफिकल्ट फिल्म। सो द फर्स्ट इमेजरी वी वांट also अब आप सब लोग बैठे तो मैं बता ही दूँ, you know, if a person is playing someone vertically challenged or especially vertically challenged like this, for a person who's a movie star who's been known for, you know, a little more romantic roles, or so there is always going to be ifs and buts about, hey, will we be accepted, will it not be? There are two things about this film I'd like to say, and I'm very proud of it. It is the most advanced visual effects film made in the world. It's not just India. And I'm being honest about it, not because my company has done it. That's why it's taking a little longer than we also thought. We prepared it for 2 years, but we're giving it the best shot possible because हर बार ऐसी film नहीं बनती. Obviously because it is so visually heavy, effects heavy, so वक्त भी लगता है, money is also being spent. We want to be very exact about everything. अभी हमने कल एक फोटो डाल दिया इसका, and half the people said, अरे यार, and it's only because we've not worked hard on it, because film में बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है सब कुछ. So I think we are a little not nervous, we are a little wary that we should put the best foot forward. तो पिक्चर का टाइटल भी रेडी है, उसकी टैग लाइन भी रेडी है, उसका इमेज भी रेडी है actually. And as I speak, I've seen it also. It's looking quite nice. I think few days we just want to give it finishing touches, and Anand sir most certainly will. He's been very anxious to do it, but I think our team has been saying, sir, this will be the first look for a very special looking film, even for me as a character. So let's not get someone. आजकल लोग तो इतने sensitive और कभी-कभी इतने negative होते हैं, तो डर लगता है कि यार बेकार लग रहा है. So we worked so hard, so we just wanted to put our best foot forward. So I think inshallah in a few more days. साल हो दिल के 50,000 जियो जियो. देखो दोनों काम कर लिए मैं. Well, God bless him. I want to go down to the farm, but my children are here. So I just sent him a message कि यार मैं 2-4 दिन नहीं आता, जब तू वापस आएगा then we'll celebrate his birthday. His birthday can't be celebrated for months. So we'll
उनके लिए कुछ special gift?
किसी सब कुछ तेरे को ही बता दूँ. For hosting, thank you all of you for waiting. Thank you Deepa, and thank you Jitesh. Once again, I think the video filmfair hopefully जिस खुशी से शुरू हुआ है वैसे ही हम अच्छी तरह से आपके सामने present करेंगे. And I don't know, the list of performers and all will come up.
I want to take away from today's occasion. We'll announce the other performers, etc.
सब जो perform करें नीचे छुपे बैठे नीचे दिखा नहीं रहे.
But today we wanted it to just be about Filmfair and Shahrukh. We'll announce the other performers to you very, very shortly. Thank you. Maybe in a couple of days from now you'll read about it. Thanks.
Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you gentlemen for being